crews wade through the water to rescue residents of the Arbor Mobile Home Park in Acampo. The severe flooding has submerged the street, and in some places, the water is at least waist deep.
And it just happened so fast.
Kelly Ruley took these pictures from the front of her mobile home.
It's a lake out there. I have beachfront property.
Kelly tells me despite the floodwaters right outside her place, she has decided to stay put.
We kind of want to keep an eye on things around here, and they did say if worse comes to worse, that we can always call again. So to get us out of here if need be.
National Guard trucks take people who did decide to leave to dry ground. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office tells us there's an evacuation warning for the mobile home park.
Starting around 1:30, 2 o'clock today, we started evacuating people that were willing to evacuate. We issued an evacuation recommendation to the entire park. About half the park is underwater, the other half is dry.
Officials say around 175 people evacuated from their mobile homes. Some of them were taken on San Joaquin Regional Transit District buses to the Lodi Grape Festival grounds, where a temporary shelter has been set up. Back near the mobile home park, there's a huge team effort underway involving the Sheriff's Office, the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and several local fire departments.
Fire was out pumping water to try to clear it out. We're doing the best we can.
Those who live in Acampo are worried about potential damage to their property.
It's just, it's a little heart-wrenching. You're afraid of what you're going to have to calculate up, how much is gone.
While residents still at the mobile home park brace for even more rain.
We're just hoping for a little break, and I don't see it coming.
Una mujer identificada como Rosa Benítez sufrió heridas graves en los dedos de sus pies tras ser mordida por pirañas cuando se bañaba en las aguas del conocido lugar turístico de Santa Rosa de la Guaraí, Laguna Blanca. Este no sería el único caso reportado en el año. Según datos, habrían otras 5 víctimas. Tras el ataque de los peces, la mujer fue derivada hasta el Hospital General de Santa Rosa de la Guaraí y no se descarta que sea trasladada hasta Asunción para consultar con especialistas en traumatología. La sobrina de una de las afectadas explicó que fueron para refrescarse en el balneario Laguna Blanca y en un momento dado fueron atacadas por pirañas. La peor parte se la llevó la persona de la tercera edad. Además, sufre de diabetes. La situación genera preocupación en los propietarios del sitio turístico y también de los pobladores de la zona, ya que este es uno de los principales atractivos turísticos de la zona.
Nos fuimos para relajarnos un poquito en Laguna Blanca. Es un lugar hermoso, pero lastimosamente nos encontramos con la sorpresa de que hay pirañas. Porque le atacó a mi tía Rosa, que es Rosa Benítez. El pueblo de San Pedro le conoce a ella. Y lastimosamente ahora estamos llegando. Desde las 4 de la tarde estuvimos en Santa Rosa, se le hizo su primer auxilio. Ahora vinimos en la clínica acá para que le vea mañana el traumatólogo, para ver si se traslada a Asunción.
¿Herida grave?
Tiene heridas graves, ambos lados.
President Biden, leaving Atlanta Sunday, did not address the discovery of new pages of classified material among the records recovered at his home. On Saturday, the president's legal team revealed in a statement that 5 additional pages with classified markings were discovered among the materials previously discovered at his Wilmington residence. As of now, approximately 20 documents have been uncovered at 2 locations connected to the president. CNN has learned 10 classified documents were found at his former office in D.C., among them information about Iran, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom, and those documents included top-secret information. On Thursday, the White House revealed documents had also been found at the president's Wilmington home, in a storage space in the garage, and in what was described as an adjacent room. Attorney General Merrick Garland also announced Thursday the appointment of Robert Hur to serve as a special counsel to oversee a criminal investigation into the matter.
The document authorizes him to investigate whether any person or entity violated the law in connection with this matter.
Hur is a former Trump-appointed U.S. attorney and Trump-era Justice Department official. He will take over from John Lausch, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney who led the initial review of classified documents found at Mr. Biden's office and recommended Garland appoint a special counsel. Over the past week, new details about the classified documents have leaked out, mostly through media reports, with the White House deferring to the Justice Department.
We're just not going to get ahead of the process from here.
And the president trying to defend why classified documents were stored in the same garage as his sports car.
My Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
But on Saturday, in what appears to be a shift in strategy, the White House was the first to reveal that additional pages had been found. But that has not stopped Republicans from calling for more investigations.
We're doing the Biden family influence peddling investigation. And I can tell you what we've learned just in the last few days from Biden's mishandling of classified documents is that the Biden Center was funded primarily through anonymous donations from China.
But Democrats emphasize that Biden and his team have cooperated, while Trump is under investigation for obstruction.
To President Trump, who refused to cooperate, who refused to comply with a subpoena, and who ultimately forced the Department of Justice to execute a search warrant to retrieve the classified documents. And that is where we need to be centering this conversation.
Con base en datos del INE al penúltimo mes de 2022, la Cámara de Exportadores señaló que la balanza comercial es favorable para el país, donde el incremento de las exportaciones no tradicionales es notable.
Las exportaciones han alcanzado 12.600 millones de dólares y las importaciones 11.855 millones, ¿no? Entonces la diferencia nos dan estos 761 millones de dólares de saldo comercial positivo.
Desde la CANEP manifestaron que la balanza comercial en comparación a similar periodo en noviembre de 2022 disminuyó debido a la reducción de los precios de los productos de exportación.
Es un saldo comercial mucho menor al que teníamos el año pasado a estas alturas. Noviembre igual de la gestión pasada, nuestro saldo comercial estaba alrededor de los 1.670 millones de dólares, ¿no? Entonces, esto tiene que ver con el hecho de que a partir del segundo semestre del 2022, con el incremento de las tasas de interés, los precios de varios productos han reducido a nivel global, se ha reducido de alguna manera la demanda global y esto ha venido acompañado de una ralentización de las exportaciones.
La CANEP proyecta que las exportaciones superen los 13.200 millones de dólares al cierre de la gestión 2022.
Keeping a good staff has become an issue for some Missouri schools.
You look at material that the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed has put out, and it says that 62% of teachers in Missouri leave by their 5th year. So it is a huge problem.
It's a problem Independent School District wants to solve. With that in mind, the district adopted a plan to have 4-day school weeks starting next fall. ISD Superintendent Dr. Dale Hurl says the decision has been a hit. From October to January of last year, the district received 91 applications. Fast forward to this year, after the 4-day work week announcement, and that number has increased to more than 500. An increase of more than 450%.
We consistently hear from people that we are now interviewing that the 4-day work week is something that really appealed to them, and we can't think of any other reason that's led to such an increase in applications other than the 4-day work week.
However, not everyone is a fan of the new policy. We reached out to the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, but they declined an interview today. In December, DESE's Director of Communications was skeptical when asked if the 4-day school week is a good strategy for attracting talent.
When this is a teacher recruitment and retention strategy, if you have so many school districts in a particular geographic area implement this strategy, it's no longer a recruitment and retention tool.
Las autoridades sanitarias afirmaron que un buen tratamiento es la clave para responder a esta fase de infecciones por COVID-19. Los funcionarios hicieron hincapié en la vigilancia y la prioridad de grupos clave como los ancianos, las embarazadas, los niños y los pacientes con enfermedades subyacentes. Asimismo, agregaron que la proporción de personas que dieron positivo en las clínicas de la fiebre el 12 de enero había sido del 10,8%. Esto supone un descenso respecto al pico del 33,9% alcanzado el 20 de diciembre. Los funcionarios también dijeron que hay que aumentar la capacidad de tratamiento en las zonas rurales. El gobierno también ha publicado el último plan de tratamiento, que incluye ajustes en la política de alerta temprana y el uso de medicina tradicional.
En Estados Unidos, una nueva subvariante de Omicron está causando más casos de COVID-19. XBB.1.5 sigue propagándose y con ella la preocupación por una posible ola de invierno.
En los grupos de alto riesgo la gente sigue llegando al hospital y lamentablemente los pacientes siguen muriendo a causa de COVID-19.
Es por eso que la Asociación Americana del Pulmón lanzó una nueva campaña dirigida a personas con alto riesgo de enfermarse gravemente por COVID-19, incluyendo ancianos y personas con ciertas condiciones médicas, como la enfermedad pulmonar crónica. Primero, la organización dice que hay que estar al día con sus vacunas contra el COVID-19, incluyendo la dosis de refuerzo si es elegible. Segundo, si tiene síntomas del virus, hágase la prueba. El tratamiento es más efectivo si se empieza pronto.
Tenemos algunas terapias orales que se pueden usar en los 5 días posteriores al inicio de los síntomas y una terapia intravenosa que se puede usar en la semana posterior al comienzo de los síntomas.
Si está dentro del rango de personas de alto riesgo y su prueba de COVID-19 dio positiva, hable con su médico sobre las mejores opciones de tratamiento.
Está circulando mucha información y desinformación. Nuestras opciones de tratamiento son buenas y están siendo subutilizadas, particularmente en ciudades donde la población se encuentra desatendida por el sistema de salud en general.
Gente ta quiere, cultura cacho también es un cos. Con antintur camino de drume. Y nan por hunga onda kuta. Sigur, tur camino tinko y cometa. Pero en realidad está hopeleo. Stop es aquí. Por favor, esteriliza y castra vuestra mascota.
Queremos extenderles una gran invitación a todos nuestros televidentes de Telaruba para que sigan bien conectados con Primera Plana con Alejandra Forero, que transmitimos de lunes a viernes en nuestros 3 diferentes horarios. A las 6:30 nuestra premier, tendremos nuestra repetición a las 7:30 de la mañana y a la 1 de la tarde con las mejores noticias locales, internacionales, todos los sucesos que les dan la vuelta al mundo, noticias de virales, noticias de farándula y muchísimo más. Así que todos los días tenemos una cita aquí en Primera Plana con Alejandra Forero.
Nos Mainta, Turja Luna, Jaranzón y Javierna, de nuevo para su norte Mainta. Repetición a tarde y su siguiente día, riba live streaming. Nos Mainta ta entretener, educar y informar. Nos Mainta, aquí na mes na Telearuba.
Andrés Jerónimo Páez Chaparro no pesaba más de 5 libras y su cuerpo no superaba los 50 centímetros de altura. Sin embargo, nació dejando huella. Su nombre, compuesto por 26 letras, marcó un antes y un después en la historia de Colombia, pues en los registros del país es el primer bebé que no lleva como primer apellido el de su padre, que es Chaparro, sino el de su madre, que es Páez.
Siento que es un buen paso también, tanto para nosotras las mujeres, ya que nos están dando como ese reconocimiento.
La historia de Jerónimo llegó a oídos de los padres de Celeste, una bebé de 9 meses que también rompió la imposición de una norma que obligaba a ordenar los apellidos, primero el del padre y luego el de la madre.
Tanto los hombres como las mujeres tenemos el mismo privilegio, tenemos las mismas condiciones, no nos limita a nada y pues...
Otro caso es el de la excongresista y actual directora para América Latina de Human Rights Watch, Juanita Gobertus, quien anunció que su hija se llamará Celina Gobertus Bermúdez. Así lo han decidido en total 3.050 parejas en el país que cambiaron el orden de los apellidos de sus hijos desde que se promulgó la ley en el 2021. En total 1.500 bebés son hombres y 1.550 mujeres.
Pero ellos expresan de manera puntual al registrador que esa es su voluntad.
Las ciudades y departamentos donde más se ha utilizado está Leison, Bogotá, con 821 casos, Antioquia con 613 casos y Valle del Cauca con 246.
We're here at IRENA's General Assembly, surrounded by some of the biggest players in the global energy transition. Now, this is setting the scene for the United Arab Emirates hosting COP28, which will provide a critical status update on our battle to fight climate change.
COP28 will be a milestone moment as the world conducts the first global stocktake to assess progress against the goals of the Paris Agreement. We don't need to wait until the global stocktake to know just how much work there is ahead of us.
These leaders say they are working towards the same goal, limiting the Earth's warming to 1.5 degrees. But despite some progress at last year's COP27 in Egypt, the world is still not on track to meet those goals. John Kerry, let me bring you in at this point. You know, collectively, the NDCs are not on track to hold temperature rise at 1.5. Have we moved past that target at this point? And what policies and measures is the US putting in place to increase your own ambition?
Well, thank you, Becky. Theoretically, yes, we can. But there's nothing in the current activities of countries all around the world, mine included, that indicates that we are prepared to do what we need to do in order to meet the 1.5. Even if we went to zero, even if China went to zero, we don't solve the problem. Every country has to step up, and that's the virtue of the stocktake.
The United Nations chief, Antonio Guterres, addressed the Assembly, emphatically outlining his solution, renewables, which he says are the only safeguard to our future and can ensure energy security. Today, he says, renewables account for about 30% of global electricity. Guterres says this must double to over 60% by 2030 and 90% by 2050. To make a renewable future a reality, it's critical developing nations have the resources and tools to transition. But where will the required investment come from?
No government in the world has enough money to do what we need to do. We're talking about trillions. Who has the trillions? The private sector has the trillions.
The message from this meeting then, renewables, whether wind, solar or hydro, are key to saving the planet. But unless private investment is ramped up and is universally accessible, it is the most vulnerable nations who will continue to suffer the most, no matter their own climate policies.
We are very small economies, but we are trying to actually do what we can to actually help trying to fight climate change. And rightly so, I mean, for the Pacific, climate change is an existential threat to us. And we will do whatever we can to actually keep it 1.5 degrees Celsius.
We know that we are not on track to meet the goals set out in the Paris Agreement. Frankly, in many instances, we are regressing, and that is unlikely to change by COP28, which will be held at the end of the year up the road from here in Dubai. But that doesn't mean the world can't correct its course before 2030. Ahead of this year's COP event, the panel's message is clear. Further private investment in renewables is vital.
Climate change has already started.
But that takes not just a willingness to change, but a real roadmap for action. And that starts right here. Becky Anderson, Abu Dhabi.
So right now we're going to be blocking this all off.
Director of Make a Difference Rescue, Judy Jones, is showing me the places where the nonprofit dog rescue plans to add security at their Detroit shelter.
Now, the next step is we're installing floodlights all along the top.
Make a Difference Rescue is currently home to 45 dogs, like Holly here, that they've found abandoned and or abused across Detroit. They're able to start adding much-needed security this winter because a mystery supporter donated $500,000 in what they called an emergency basis on Friday. $500,000.
Talk about spirit of Detroit, right? It is like amazing.
The donations come after a heart-wrenching week for the team.
This week we had our worst nightmare occur. We got broken into for the 4th time, but unfortunately this time they took my dogs. They took 4 of them.
Thankfully, with help from the entire community.
Everywhere I go, it's like, did you get the dogs?
And our own Kim Craig.
Kim Craig has been wonderful.
The dogs were found safe, but Judy says they need more security in Detroit and ultimately a new, safer shelter to make sure that this does not keep happening.
The privacy fence right there, we had to replace. And every time somebody breaks in, they take down the fence.
So today, after a whirlwind of a week, this dog rescuer says she's asking people to step up and donate to help them reach their goal of $1 million by the spring to build their dream dog shelter. They have a few locations in mind where they'd like to build a safer, bigger facility where these dogs can run and play until their forever family comes and adopts them.
I just really want to thank everybody because it does take, a village to come together.
If you would like to make a donation, you can do so with this PayPal or by sending a check to this Birmingham location. I put all of this information on our website. Judy says that any donation that you make really can help save the life of one of the dogs that's living inside of this building right now.
Many agree having a pet at our side makes our days better, and for some, the nights too.
Where does Olive sleep?
In bed with us. Every night. Honestly, on top of me.
Where does Archie sleep?
Archie sleeps in bed with my husband and me.
My husband would disagree. He would prefer to sleep with just us, but she's such a good snuggler.
I feel definitely more comfortable when he's there.
So does Dr. Lindsay Merkel at the University of Minnesota Vet School.
So how many dogs sleep in your bed?
In our bed, 4 Chihuahuas and 1 miniature dachshund.
So 5 dogs in one bed.
5 dogs with two humans. Yeah, my husband and I.
So you may not be surprised to hear her answer to our question.
Should we let our dogs sleep with us?
Given everything that we understand about the benefits that we can gain from having animals in our bed sleeping with us, I think, yes, having them sleep with us is a great idea.
So it can calm us, both of us, when we sleep together.
Yeah, it seems to bring out the beneficial hormones that we need for stress relief and, feeling good about ourselves, the dopamine and the oxytocin.
The Mayo Clinic did some research too. A sleep study tracked dogs sleeping in the bedroom and their humans. The study says having the dog in the bed can disrupt sleep, but having the dog on the floor by the bed does not. But as long as you don't have allergies and they don't have parasites, Dr. Merkel says it's okay to go all in.
It seems like the proof is that having them in your bed is actually beneficial for both of you.
I think a lot of our viewers are going to love it.
Exactly, I'm sure they are.
It's supposed to just be soothing for anxiety.
I didn't know that.
So you're not doing bad things. No. It's calming, there's dopamine.
I'm actually going to have to share that fact with my husband.
CRG, we were right all along.
Now I have an actual fact to convince him that we're doing the right thing.
We're being healthy for each other.
Yep. So snuggle in and don't look back.
Así comenzó la edición número 71 del certamen de Miss Universo. Las candidatas salieron entre el público para deslumbrar de belleza un escenario repleto de color y música al estilo Mardi Gras, muy emblemático de la sede, la pintoresca ciudad de Nueva Orleans. Luego de que las 86 concursantes desfilaran y se presentaran en tarima, escogieron las 16 semifinalistas, en donde la nuestra encabezó la lista.
¡Puerto Rico!
Las 16 semifinalistas prosiguieron a modelar en traje de baño, ondeando sus capas emblemáticas al son de la divertida música típica del estado de Luisiana. Y luego le tocó el turno a los más esperados, los trajes de gala.
Puerto Rico.
Esta edición del certamen de belleza más importante contó con la participación de mensajes impactantes de parte de la reina saliente Miss Universo 2021 y de la nueva dueña de la organización.
I turn pain into power, and I turn life lessons into wisdom.
Entonces llegó el momento de escoger las 5 semifinalistas. Al grupo selecto entraron Venezuela, Estados Unidos, Curazao, República Dominicana y nada más y nada menos que la nuestra.
¡Puerto Rico!
5 delegadas contestaron preguntas de diferentes jueces y luego de probar ante el mundo su personalidad e intelecto, pasaron a escoger las 3 finalistas.
And there you go. This year's top 3 finalists.
A ese grupo selecto de 3 clasificaron la dominicana, la estadounidense y la venezolana, quienes contestaron la siguiente pregunta. Si ganas el Miss Universo, ¿cómo trabajarás para demostrar que esta es una organización que es progresiva y empodera a la mujer? Mientras el trío respondió, el comité de selección compuesto por 8 mujeres entendió que Estados Unidos era la gran merecedora de la corona este año.
The new Miss Universe is
Y es que Arboni Gabriel, de Texas y de descendencia filipina, estará residiendo en la ciudad de Bangkok, Tailandia, como la nueva embajadora del certamen más importante de belleza, el Miss Universo 2022.